Okay guys, this video is going to show you what we've talked about already about fractions. We can actually use our calculator as a helper that's going to do some of the work for us on fractions if you have this calculator handy. So the first thing I want to point out to you guys, I know we've talked about reducing these by hand already or simplifying, but I want to point out something on your calculator that makes this really nice to be able to do. Let's take this first question that we talked about and let's type it in our calculator. And the way you would do that, guys, is you would put in our numerator. Whoops, make sure your calculator's on. Put in your numerator. And then what you're going to do, guys, is you're going to hit this ABC button, I call it. ABC is right here. If you find your blue button and you go over a row and you go down 3 rows, there's a capital A and then B/C that I call my ABC button. And what that does is it puts this little mark on your screen and it allows you to then type in your denominator. And the trick is, guys, if you use your ABC button to type in your problem as a fraction, the way it's written, this is what it looks like on your screen. But by simply hitting enter, or your equals button, what it does is it reduces your fraction for you. So it's kind of a little trick I wanted to share with you. So try it with the next one. You can clear out the old work that we just did, and you could type in 120. And then remember to go up and find your ABC button, and you're going to put in 112 below it. And then remember, you're just going to hit enter. So this is an example of a mixed number. What they do on your calculator is they give you the whole number, and then what they do is they give you the fractional part next to it. So 1 and 1/14 is really the answer that we got when we reduced, or maybe we kept it as an improper fraction. So guys, on your note sheet, I want you to draw the ABC button, and then I want you to draw the equal sign next to it. And maybe this will remind us that if we need help simplifying or reducing, we could always use our calculator's ABC button to type in our fraction, and then remember, hit equals. Now, while we're here, we're going to do some work on changing mixed numbers to improper. So remember how the last problem gave us this improper fraction, or excuse me, this mixed number? So what you're going to do when you get a mixed number to type in is you're going to put in the whole number. You're going to hit ABC. Then you're going to type in your numerator, and you're going to hit ABC again before you type in your denominator. So what happens is your calculator understands that this means 2 3/4 when you type it in using ABC. What we need to do is change it to improper. So if you look above the ABC button, there's a little blue writing that says ABC, and there's an arrow, and then I think there's a D/E. We need to get to that. So on these calculators, what it means is we have to hit the second key first, and then our ABC button. And you're going to see this on your screen. This means we're going to take our mixed number and we're going to change it to improper. So you're going to hit enter. Okay, the improper value that we did before by hand is 11/4, and that's how you would do it if you decided to use your calculator. So one more time, we're going to practice this one. We have a negative, and by the way, if you haven't used your calculator to find a negative number yet, or to work with a negative number, this is what you would use. You would not press your subtraction key. You would hit your negative button here. You would put in your 5. And then because it's going to be a mixed number, you have to ABC before your numerator, and then hit ABC again before your denominator. Whoops, I hit enter by mistake, and all that did is it told me what the mixed number was again. What I meant to do is second ABC to change it to improper. So remember, you're going to get those crazy symbols that came off your calculator, and there's our answer, -17/3. And then while we're here, guys, you're actually going to use the same buttons to change an improper. So 20 ABC3 is the problem I gave you. And if you hit second ABC, it's going to change it to a mixed. And remember, when you read off the mixed number, you have to have the whole number separate from the mixed or the fractional part. So guys, on your paper, would you please this time write down the steps that you would have to use, which is second ABC, and then your equal sign. And this again is a little way that you can use your calculator to help you do some reducing or changing from mixed to improper. Okay, if you flip your paper over to the back, I want to show you a couple things you can do with your calculator. We've talked about the process of multiplying and dividing fractions, which again is very difficult for us sometimes. If you were to use your calculator to do this, I want to show you it can handle it for us. The first number that we're working with is 8/3. So remember, you're going to use your ABC button to type it in. We want to multiply by the other fraction, 7/14. So if you look, when you press your multiplication sign, you're kind of getting this star, or it kind of looks like a snowflake. 7/14, remember, is your other fraction. So again, we had to use our ABC button. Now your calculator is waiting for it to be told what to do. So we are going to say enter or give me the answer. And the nice thing about your calculator, guys, is it's programmed so that it will always give you the simplified answer. If you don't want it in the form of a mixed number, remember you can hit second ABC and you can get the answer in form of a improper fraction. So again, this is just remembering that your calculator can handle fractions, and that means when you're allowed to use a calculator, you can go ahead and you can make some of the calculations a little bit simpler for you. So the next problem, I wanted to show you that this will also handle division. There's our fraction 2/3. We can divide by the fraction 1/8. Again, you're just using your ABC button, making sure you tell it to divide the two fractions in order. You don't have to worry about keep, change, flip if you decide you're going to use your calculator. So there's our answer as a mixed number. And remember, we can hit second ABC if we want it in terms of a improper fraction. So what I find is that usually multiplying and dividing isn't a huge issue with students, but when you have fractions to add together that have different denominators, the process of getting your common denominators is very challenging for students. So this is probably your best use right here. If you have to take 3/4, remember 3ABC4, you're adding it to 1/7, 1ABC7. And again, we're just telling the calculator, ABC, getting the fractions in, plus sign between them, and hit enter. So 25/28 is our solution. And then the last one, we're just going to put in our 11/2, 11ABC2. And this time we are subtracting the fraction 2/3. So we can go ahead and come up with our solution either as a mixed, or remember, second ABC gives us a improper fraction. So guys, like I said before, that you should always try to do the calculations by hand, but again, you've got a calculator. We're going to be using the calculator most of the year, so it's also very important that you feel comfortable putting fractions and, again, negative numbers into your calculator. Thanks for listening.